right, guys. So our penultimate topic here before we get into our Mandalorian's season 2, episode 4 spoiler review that is coming up after this topic. So, if anything, too, I don't know. We might do a spoiler-free quick thoughts and then go into the spoiler review. But either way, that's the story for our ultimate topic, our last topic. But our penultimate topic here is that we spoke about this last week, where Marvel came out and said that they are not going to be digitally replacing Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. They haven't confirmed, at least publicly, what they intend on doing with the T'Challa or Black Panther character moving forward with the franchise and everything. Because obviously they had Black Panther 2 in production, and then obviously the passing of Chadwick Boseman earlier this year, just a couple months ago. So they've been kind of silent on, which is expected. It's still very fresh for everybody. So I mean, it's definitely expected that we don't have any confirmation on it, but on what they're going to do with the character by any means. But we do have confirmation that they are in fact moving forward with Black Panther 2, and they're going to be starting their shoot for the franchise in July of 2021. So only in about 7 months from now, 7-8 months from now, they're going to be starting filming. So what I think was interesting about this was just because of the story that we had last week, where the producer came out and said, like, no, we're not digitally replacing him. Like, Chadwick is Chadwick. Like, we're not doing that. They kind of confirmed that they didn't know what they're going to do. But I feel like this story, I think it says contrary. I think there's a chance that they probably already have their Black Panther, the replacement, probably picked out. They probably know exactly who it's going to be. Whether or not it's going to be T'Challa or not, I think it should be T'Challa, because T'Challa is just too important of a character for them just to, I don't know, just replace off screen. I don't know. I feel like it does no justice to the
Not having
character.
like a new Black Panther.
Yeah, I don't want them to do that, because you could just have Winston Duke come in, M'Baku come in and just be Black Panther, because it would make sense, because he almost beat T'Challa in Black Panther 1 anyway. So it would make sense for him just to take on the mantle. But in my mind, T'Challa himself is just too important of a character to just not have him there anymore. So I don't know. Like I said, in my mind, I feel like this I feel like it's only gonna be a matter of time before they publicly announce. I think if anything, kind of they were saying in the previous article about the CGI replacement or whatever, it's just too soon for them to be even wanting to talk about it. Was the main thing they said, is they don't even want to have to discuss it, because I think these people just lost a family member. To us it was just a character on the screen, but to these people, they spent years with them. It's just it's definitely, I hold no no ill will for them not wanting to just come out and say exactly what's happening, because it's just a situation that I'm literally nobody wants to be in. So, but again, as far as the news world goes, to me, this indicates that I feel like they know exactly what they're going to do, because I gave a little bit of criticism to that comment. I will say, it's just we don't know what we're going to do. Yeah, you do. You got to know what you're doing. I know you don't want to say it, but you know what you're doing. So, and again, I feel like this confirms it. So, what are you guys kind of on the same page with me? You think that they're going to keep T'Challa alive in the MCU, or do you think maybe they'll go the Winston Duke taking the mantle role, or someone else coming in and being the new Black Panther?
Well, T'Challa, for me at least, well, for the world, I would say, was such an important character for the African American community and for kids and all that stuff, to have somebody that they can look up to that, could possibly be them or something. That keeping that character alive, whether it's a digital or recast, whatever it is, I just think that's really important versus bringing in somebody new to be like a second Black Panther. But
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'm torn. I think that it's going to be hard for them to recast that role, just because of I feel like, in a way, you're gonna there's gonna be a segment of the population that feels like, yeah, recast it because we need T'Challa, we need that character in the MCU. But then there's also gonna be a segment of the population that says, that was Boseman. Boseman defined that character. That was his role, and it's not. You shouldn't be just having somebody else come in. It's whoever fills that shoes are never going to be able to fill them properly. I personally think that they're going to go the replacement Black Panther route. You kind of got a sense that they've started dabbling in the idea of legacy and legacy characters with Cap passing the shield to Falcon at the end of Endgame. Spoilers, I guess, for a movie that came out last year, but
The biggest movie ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So, sorry if somebody hasn't seen that, but so anyway, you got the idea that Cap is passing that mantle on to another character. And so there is a little bit of precedent now in the MCU for that idea of passing of a mantle. And I think maybe that's more what we see. I think that we maybe get a passing of the Black Panther mantle to somebody else. Um, because I think the character of Black Panther ultimately is the one that they're more interested in preserving. The idea that there's a super African American, a black, it's not even
It's
African American. He's
yeah, it's
African. He's an African superhero.
true. It's
Um,
true. It's true.
that I think that it's important that the culture and society has. And so I think that might be what they're more concerned with, is preserving the Black Panther character, not necessarily who's underneath the mask. And I think that they could possibly do that a couple different ways. They could have M'Baku come and do it, which is surprising that I never considered that, but it makes perfect sense if they wanted to go that route. The one that I thought, and the one that there is some precedent for, is Shuri. She actually had the role of Black Panther in the comic books before, and so I think with her connection, how close she was in the movies with her brother, makes her a natural replacement for them to have T'Challa, for whatever reason, not be able to continue in the role, and for her to pick up the mantle and continue. So I think that's the route they're going. But what do I know? I definitely see where um, recasting the role could work just as well. It'll be very interesting. The one thing I will say about recasting is if they do recast and they've been able to keep that recasting quiet, or if we don't hear anything by the time shooting starts happening, that will lead me to believe that they aren't recasting it, because it's just so hard to keep that kind of casting news under wraps.
It
Yeah.
kept Baby Yoda under wraps.
That's true. It's true.
But yeah, it is hard to
That's
keep
true.
anything under wraps anymore, especially when everyone goes around with, global communication devices with video and audio capability. Like, it's pretty hard. But with that though, I feel like there's too many problems with just having someone else be Black Panther. Is because, for one, I feel like it does no justice to the character of T'Challa to just where'd he go? You got to explain where he went.
Yeah.
They're gonna like kill him off and just have someone else do it. It doesn't make any sense, and then like you have to do it all off screen. Because if they said they're not going to be digitally recreating Chadwick Boseman, it kind of rules out recasting, because you'd have to have some sort of mantle being passed down at some point for some reason. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
just
yeah.
having a new actor playing T'Challa, you don't have to integrate anything into the story to go around it. It's just,
Yeah.
John David Washington is your Black Panther. There you go. Like, he's T'Challa now. Like, that's it. That kind of thing. Just throwing that casting off the top of my head. I'm predicting it. I'm predicting it. What I think's gonna happen. Which I'd be on board with. That sounds cool. But
Yeah, I would, based off of Tenant, man, I would get behind that. In a
That
heartbeat.
would be, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I think I think, not that I'd rather it be Chadwick Boseman, obviously.
Yeah. Rest in
Obviously,
peace.
but because I do agree, he really was like the embodiment of that role, and I know to a lot of people that's gonna forever be like their Black Panther, and I think everybody involved in Black Panther would say the exact same thing. But I don't want to say unfortunately, but like the show has to go on. Like, in some way, they already had all this stuff in development. Like, so it's like no surprise that like they're obviously having these talks and have to do it and everything, despite how difficult it is. I mean, it all makes sense. But
yeah, and the other thing, I think a lot of people, regardless of how this ends up, and regardless of what decision Marvel makes, it's not just as simple as Not that I'm saying you were saying this, but it's not just as simple as the show must go on. I think if you talk to anybody, everything that I read and everything that I saw about Chadwick Boseman and everything that he said, he understood the importance of the character. He understood the importance of Black Panther, and I think you know,
That's
I
why
don't
I
know.
think T'Challa is too
I don't.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know Chadwick, and it might be presumptuous and conceited of me to think this, but I think if there was anybody that would want the character in the story to go on because of how important it was, it would have been Chadwick. I think there
Yeah.
will be people that will be upset no matter which direction they go, and there will be people upset that they continue it because he's not around to do it. But I think if he were here, the impression that I've gotten from everything I've seen from him would be that he would want it to go on, that he understands why it's important, and he would want that to happen too. So I
that's
think that's
exactly why I
important.
think that they would go with the recasting route. Because, like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
with that, I think T'Challa is a part of the importance. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, in a lot of ways. Like, yeah, if I don't know, I don't think it's as simple as like someone else just puts it on and now they're them. Because another thing too with like Letitia Wright's character, like even though there's precedence in the comics for it because like she was Black Panther and one of the runs or whatever. Um, like the way they set it up in the movie, like anybody can challenge like for the mantle, but like in order to become the king or the leader of Wakanda and be take on the mantle of Black Panther, you have to win in that combat. You have to win that fight. And like I don't see considering like
It,
for instance if they were to redo if uh M'Baku almost beat Chadwick,
yeah.
pretty sure M'Baku is going to beat Shuri.
Well, I
You know
think
what
I
I mean?
think I think the I think the one thing that the movie did, the first movie did though, was it did show that the mantle becomes available every so often for a challenge to be made, but it does pass down or through family and legacy. Because when Chadwick's father passed away, the mantle passed to him right away. It wasn't He didn't have the trial, so they could work around the story in that manner if they
True.
wanted to pass it to her.
Right. I feel like her character, as far as that goes, works so well as her
Oh,
character. You know,
sure,
and they set her up in such a way to where she's just like I mean, they said that she's already like confirmed that she's the smartest person in the Marvel universe, and
yep,
like that character is I don't know, she just like works so well in that lab. You know what I mean? When
yeah,
she's in there and she's doing her science stuff, like the way the actress that Letitia Wright plays it and everything, like that's where I want to see her, dude. Like I just want to see
sure,
her pop off and be witty and like show up Bruce Banner and like Tony Stark, even though I mean R.I.P. Tony Stark, but like show them up in the lab being, however old she is in the show, or in the movie rather. Like I like her character there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find this interesting, and obviously we're gonna find out soon enough. It's obviously a difficult situation for everybody to be in. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they decide to end up doing, and I'm sure I don't know. I'm sure they'll make the right choice. They know what
yeah.
they're doing. So, question is, guys, what do you think about this? Are you excited that there is like confirmation that the Black Panther franchise is continuing forward? And what do you think they're gonna do with the character of T'Challa, given Chadwick Boseman's passing and everything? Do you think they are gonna pass the mantle on to just a new character, or do you think they're just gonna come in and have someone else step into the role and carry on that mantle per se in the role of T'Challa himself? So let us know down in the comment section below.